Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boozy Botanical podcast. My name is Holly.
I'm Angelique.
And welcome back, everyone. We're so excited.
Oh, I'm excited to be back. I feel like I say this every time, but it's like, I haven't seen you in so long.
No, it's so true, dude.
You guys
Happy
think
Boozy.
completely.
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Happy Boozy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Boozy Tuesday. What are you drinking, Holly?
Okay, so I have such a funny story behind my drink.
You guys, we hadn't started yet. And she was like, I have a story. And I was like, what happened? And I'm hearing this for the first time myself.
I hope it's a good story. I think it's funny, but going right into it. My friend and I, we have been drinking this drink that we feel needs to be mainstreamed, but for whatever reason, it's not.
Ooh, okay.
And it's essentially a Tito's Gimlet, no simple syrup. Add a shot of Malibu. And then splash pina colada. And for those listening, because I found out not a lot of people know what a gimlet is.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to define gimlet.
It's like an old person drink, but dude, it's so fucking good. Like, I don't understand. All it is lime juice, like you see at like the, liquor stores, the lime juice with simple syrup and vodka. Like, it's so good. Very simple.
Oh my God.
So, lime and coconut, I think, go very well together. So basically we order it that way, but we want a little bit of coconut twist on it. So we've been ordering this like when we go out or at bars, whatever, and everyone's like, okay, what? And it's hard to make like the perfect consistency. It's either too much pina colada or they miss an ingredient. So as I mentioned, the way to order it is a gimlet, no simple syrup. A Tito's Gimlet, no simple syrup. Add a shot of Malibu and a splash of pina colada. So we were like, okay, we were like, we need to like name this. Like we have to name it so like it could be a thing. So fast forward, we're in Jacksonville for the Cardinals game.
Oh yes.
We're at a bar and this guy makes it perfect. Like we tell him how we want it. He comes back and it's the perfect like mixture and he gets it. Like he totally is like, I get you. And I'm like, what is your name? And we're a couple in at this point.
Yeah.
He's like, my name's Faden. We're like,
Faden with an F?
With an F. Like Hayden, Jaden, but Faden.
Daddy, Jesus Christ.
We're like, that's it. It's called the Faden because you're Faden when you drink.
Did you tell him you named it after him?
Yes. And he loved it though. He just kind of walked away like, oh my God. Like,
oh my God, I have fans.
So shout out Faden. Not that you're listening to this.
What bar was Faden at so people can visit? Do you remember?
Dude, it was called Aqua Grill or something like that. It's actually so very bougie of us. We were staying at the what's it called? Sawgrass Marriott. It's basically it's where all the golfers go and stay, and it's a huge golf thing
where there opens and stuff.
Yes, funny enough, that's where the Cardinals were staying. They're staying at the same hotel as us.
Did you see them?
We saw a few, yeah.
They're like, oh my God, we're from Phoenix too. Hi.
Yeah. Cardinals gear, like, hi. We were unfazed, but
they were like, we get this all the time.
Yeah. But anyways, so it's across the street from the I'm pretty sure it's called Sawgrass Marriott in Jacksonville, or like it's around Jacksonville, but yes, so good. I'm drinking the Faden.
Oh my gosh, we should highlight that on our Instagram sometime. That could be really fun.
It'd be so fun.
The Faden. Oh my gosh. It was his name, Fayden?
I believe so. Yeah, he did spell it out for us, but yeah.
Like it sounds like a CW character.
I know.
You know what I mean? Very like teen sort of drama name.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Faden and I skip class. Whatever.
Faden.
And every girl thinks he's so hot, but no one understands why his name's not Hayden.
It's so funny too because like our little cousin, he's 7. He was with us like at the bar, but like not at the bar.
Oh, I didn't know they went. Cute.
Yes, he was like, and your last drink is called the fade out.
Oh.
He's so quirky. Like he's very like smart and funny. We're just like,
oh my gosh. Isn't it crazy the things kids say? I'm like,
yes.
wow. I can't. Like I was with my baby cousin yesterday. I say baby, she's 12, but she's
Yeah.
definitely going through a phase where it's like, if let's say like I'm explaining a story and
Yeah.
like there's hypotheticals in my story, like it's uh, like I can't even give an example now, but it was something where it's like, yeah, like I'm not sure like why this is happening, but it's kind of like a statement, like it's not really.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, like I wonder this. Like she's very much like trying to always be engaged, and it's really cute.
Yes.
I think she wants to feel more adult, but like that's a
Yes.
bad example. Like I was telling a story yesterday, and it was definitely a hypothetical. I can't remember now, but it was something where it was like she was answering everything I brought up, and I was like, it was really cute because I was like, I was probably the
Such a good
same way. What was that?
she's such a good listener. Like, I'm
Right.
following what you're
Like
saying.
repeating everything I
Yeah.
say, like, oh, so that's what happened. And I'm like, just said
That's
that. Yeah. But it's really cute seeing her grow up, and it's like they say the funniest things, and I don't know, kids are so smart, dude. It blows my
it's
mind.
scary. Sometimes I say things I'm like, do you know what you're saying?
Yeah, and kids can be so dark too. Like,
Ah.
oh
Oh
my
yeah.
gosh, it was
Mhm.
crazy.
Yep.
But yeah,
What are you
my
drinking?
drink is not nearly as exciting right now. I have I found the bottle of skinny margarita that I drank a few months
Oh,
ago for the
nice.
podcast. So I got more, and I
Yes.
can't tell if it's flat or I don't know how it works, but like I feel like I don't
It was
know.
bubbly, right?
It was what?
You said it was bubbly,
I
this
think it was
particular
a
mix?
little bit skinny. It's like it reminds me of like wine, but not. Like it definitely tastes like a margarita.
Okay.
I don't remember how bubbly it was, but I feel like it was a little bubbly because now it's not. It's like, let me try.
Yeah. Well, because
Um,
traditionally, like, margaritas aren't bubbly, but
well, then maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's not this drink that was bubbly because it tastes like a margarita, but it's not bubbly. So maybe that's how it's supposed to be.
that's
But
good.
yeah, it's strong. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys, like it's 10 something over here. And I've been trying to get ready for this podcast for like an hour. And before this, I went to Hollywood to feed my friend's cat. So like my
Oh,
day started at like 8, but I
yeah,
haven't eaten anything. So I'm just like,
dude.
this is gonna be fun.
You can just like order Postmates or like DoorDash or something for you because I'm up
I
so many hours before you. I'm just gonna have
so
Starbucks sent to your
I
house.
would my heart would be glowing because I don't think about like, oh, eat before the pod. It just doesn't cross my mind because I get up, I'm running around to do stuff, and then I'm like, oh my God, we start the podcast in 10 minutes. And it's not like I'm like, oh, I don't even think about getting food. As you guys can probably tell, like my voice is hoarse and everything, like it's early. So I'm like, "Arr."
We did some funny warm-ups though beforehand, so we're
Oh my
trying.
God. They were good. It's like my little theater heart, all the little vocal warm-ups. Like there was, oh my gosh. So there was in July, we had friends staying with us. My friends Patricia and Tim, who you've met, they're a couple, and they had gotten here on a Thursday. And I was like, I'm gonna be in my acting class when you get here. I think they might have been here, but then I jumped into my acting class, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden they just heard like so my my coach, I don't want to blast out the speakers, but or your guys' ears listening, but he makes us do like these vocal warm-ups that are also very physicalized. So he'll be like, I want you to laugh. And then you laugh as hard as you can. And he's like, and now I want you to laugh and scream. And then you go, ah, really loud. And then it's like, laugh, scream, jump up and down, and then do a crazy dance. So you're doing it all at the same time.
And
So I'm
this is
like,
all in Zoom at your house, right?
on Zoom at my house in one room, and I hear the house go quiet when they hear me screaming. It's literally like 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 I'm having a manic breakdown. And then they just hear like
Joker.
boom, 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 because they hear me stomping on the ground as I jump.
So funny. I know. Like these small houses, man, like I can do like jumping jacks and the whole house is like shaking.
Shaking, and I'm like, it's coming down, guys. I don't think my renter's insurance covers this.
Like, is there an earthquake? It felt like a 4 point whatever. Now Angelique is just doing her warm-ups.
Yeah, it's just Angelique doing theater.
Theater?
God, like
You're like, I'm the weight of a normal human. This shouldn't be happening.
yeah. my coach said to think big. I am a Hulk. Boom, boom, boom. I am a T-Rex.
Dude, this is so funny. Okay, I'm full on going on a tangent, but when you said the Hulk, I was watching this TikTok, and this person, she was asking, she's like, comment what your like, what is your weirdest crush? And she's like, can't talk. Seth Rogen doesn't count because everyone wants to fuck Seth Rogen. Tell me like your weirdest one. And this like multiple people, dude, said the Hulk, like the Green Hulk.
So it was Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, or literally just the Hulk as a character?
I think it's Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. And so there was like crazy things, like people said the fish from Finding Nemo, like the one with the scar on his face.
Oh God, I was like, not Nemo. That's not appropriate.
No, like the old, like rough around the edges fish who's like bitter and like
Scar, but in Finding
people
Nemo.
said Scar from The Lion King.
God, he's so skinny.
I know. People said
at least get with Mufasa. Like
I know, right?
Meat on his bones.
People said Jafar from Aladdin. I'm like, oh
no. I'll get with Sultan before I get with Jafar. Like, oh my God. I had a few cartoon crushes. I'm trying to think. Oh, that sounds so hot. Okay, well, this wasn't one, but I watched Lilo and Stitch the other day, and I was like, oh my God, like Nani's love interest, he's cute. Nice. Like he never has a shirt on the entire show or film. Yes. He's so good at surfing. And then he saves Stitch from drowning, and I was like, my hero.
You know, there's that other trend when you're like 6-year-old me watching Tarzan for the first time, and like the wind is blowing in their face and their eyes are just locked to the TV, and you're just like, oh.
Oh my God. He is like, Tarzan looks like a model. He's so chill. Like, he's so angled, you know, and so like oh my, it's ridiculous. Oh my God.
You said Hulk, and that has been like the highlight of my day yesterday. Just reading these comments.
You know, I get it. I think. I think he'd be too much. Like,
oh yeah, no.
It would be a lot. There was okay. Did you? There is one character I thought was very attractive, and I can't think of it now.
I can tell you mine.
Oh yeah, tell me.
What were you gonna say?
No, tell me yours. I still haven't figured mine out.
Twister from Rocket Power.
Oh, I don't know this character.
Gotta be the backwards hat. It's so weird. But when I was little, I'm like, he's so cute.
Why is he so dreamy?
And he's a little kid character. When I was
I mean, Holly, we each have a type.
This was years ago, but these are genuine.
I'm wheezing like an old man.
Okay, now I feel really exposed and embarrassed.
No, mine's really bad. Let me find mine. No, that is so. I could not remember what Rocket Power was. I never got to watch it, but I've seen this character like in images. I just don't know what I expected to see.
Hey, at least in human form, it's not an animal.
Mine's gonna be pretty weird. So, okay, I didn't have cable growing up. I think that's why I didn't. I think Rocket Power might have been on a cable.
Nickelodeon.
See, I didn't grow up with Nick or anything. I grew up with PBS and like whatever ABC acquired for syndication was what I grew up with. Nice. There's a show that I guess Warner, like it said kids. It says it's from Kids WB, but I don't know how I watched it.
Okay.
It's called Shaolin Showdown. Have you ever seen it?
No.
I don't think anyone knows about the show. It's so weird, but it's like so it's this little guy, I think is Shaolin, this little yellow guy.
The yellow guy.
That's not the guy I want. That's not what I wanted. But like he has like this girl and these two other guy friends, and they're all strong. Like I think they're all young martial arts students, Omi, Kimiko, Raimundo, and Clay quest to find magical artifacts before they fall into the hands of evildoers trying to take over the world. But they're from all different parts of the world and they've come together. And Raimundo was Brazilian. Talk about
Oh,
representation, guys. And I thought he was so hot. I'm trying to find him. It's really gross because, like, it's worse because no one knows who he is. I was like, he like talked like this, and I was like, yes, daddy, yes. Oh my god.
oh,
Man.
wow.
Oh, okay.
Funny.
Okay, I remember one that I think is justified. Last one, then we'll talk about plants.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the guy that Pocahontas does not get with in the movie.
Dude, way hotter than John Smith.
Way hotter. Like, what are you doing?
Go with the other guy. Way hotter.
Like John Smith, like, I get it. He was handsome, but he was no other guy, you know?
Yeah, what was his name?
Oh, his name is I should know this. I watched it fairly recently. Pocahontas.
Other guy.
Other guy. Let's see what comes up.
I bet it'll come up.
Oh, there he is. Cocoam. Oh, literally one of the hottest Disney characters I've ever seen.
So hot.
Should I be with Cocoam? And I was like, yes! Yes, you should. I don't think those were the lines, but it's like in a song somewhere.
Oh my god, that is so good.
God, we have not laughed this hard on the podcast in so long.
I know. Nothing about plants. It's just weird crushing.
Oh god. Go ahead.
If this was the free for all episode, I would just be reading the comments because they're so good. There was like one said something from Moana. It was like, I don't know, the seashell from Moana, or like I don't know.
Like the sea turtle?
I don't remember.
Maybe Maui. I get it. Dwayne Johnson's the voice.
Yeah, sure.
I guess. That's my first choice.
One was like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, but not in human form. I'm like thinking, okay, the blonde guy at the end.
Oh, so beautiful. Okay. I'm not a proponent. I do not advocate for bestiality, but I'm just saying his eyes are they say a lot. Okay.
Like, if you must be really into muscular men.
I'm just into like bears, okay? You know how like I think it's like there are guys that I think especially in the gay community they go by bears if they're more burly.
Right.
But real bears too. I don't know.
Yes,
I'm not.
People said the fox from The Fox and the Hound.
Oh my god. Wait, no, not Copper.
Copper's
the dog.
Copper's the dog. What's his name?
Todd.
Todd.
I watched that with a kid a few months ago. I was nannying, and I was like, "This is not okay. I left this in my childhood for a reason. It's too emotional."
It is, dude.
Todd.
That's so sad. Like so sad. Oh my god.
You know, Todd is played by a really famous actor. I think it's Corey. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. You guys didn't know this was the Disney episode. So yeah. Oh no, Kurt Russell. No, Kurt Russell plays Copper. Mickey Rooney plays Todd.
Oh wow.
Big characters in their
heyday.
This
is funny. I found the comments. So I'm just gonna read a few. Thomas O'Malley, the O'Malley cat.
Yeah, yes, I get it.
Cool. He's a cool guy. I can see that.
O'Malley, the alley cat.
Ron Swanson.
Parks and Rec. No.
A lot of Jack Blacks. A lot of that.
I think he'd be fun. He's like Bobby Lee. Like you want like this, like it's like doughy goodness. It's silly. We all know.
Okay, Gordon Ramsay.
I feel like he'd be tender. I feel like he'd really be vulnerable. I feel like he'd cry.
He's like, I'm this tough guy on screen, but I'm really not.
I just want to be held. Were there any like Simon Cowells or like I don't know. I feel like
No,
that's too
David
mainstream.
Spade, Kronk from Emperor's New Groove.
Kronk was
Oh,
like
this one had me crying.
Tell me.
Robin Williams at his hairiest.
Wait, who?
Robin Williams at his hairiest. God, it's sad though.
Robin Williams as Genie.
Oh my God. Okay, let me just do a couple more because I think you guys are laughing from this.
Don't worry, guys. It's fine.
Flynn from Tangled.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
This is weird.
That was easy.
I gotta read this whole comment. The centipede from James and the Giant Peach. I'm booking an appointment with a therapist as we speak. Like, what?
No. Why is this happening? Oh my God.
Max Goofy movie. Oh my. Oh, this one. Oh, hang on.
Oh, tell me.
There was one. I'm sorry. You can keep talking, but there was one that was literally had me crying.
I'm trying to think if I have any really embarrassing ones. I'm trying to think about it. Well, the Shaolin Showdown one's embarrassing, but also the I did think someone was so hot. Now I can't think of it.
One person was like, what was it? Let's just call him a zebra because I don't remember the animal. It was like zebra on the train ride in Zootopia. He just looks like he would treat me right. So good. Oh my God. James McAvoy in Split and Narnia. It's equally as bad.
Hey, commenter. I'd like to see you be 20 kajillion different characters in one movie.
Oh gosh. Peter Dinklage.
He's hot. He's very handsome.
Too. He is.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm trying to think if there's any. I know that there's something that I'm like, we're gonna finish recording and be like, him.
You're just gonna like say it. It'll be like an Easter egg in the middle of our episode.
For sure. Did anybody say Shrek?
Yes, people said Shrek.
Of course they did. I'm seeing a trend.
Hannibal Lecter. Okay.
Oh no, thanks. I don't want to.
Hades from Hercules. Bill Hader.
I love that he comes after Hades.
Prince Naveen, but as the frog. I don't know what that is.
Oh my God! You know who was hot?
Who?
So do you remember? You know how? Do you recall like in mid to late 90s? DreamWorks, they were trying to do Bible movies. They did Prince of Egypt and Joseph, Prince of Dreams or King of Dreams.
What's his name?
Joseph and Moses were so hot.
So hot. And Ben, what's his name?
Stiller?
No. The one who's with J-Lo now. Why am I blanking on his last name?
Ben Affleck. Yeah, Affleck.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played the voice of Joseph.
Yes, I think you're right.
He's good.
Josh and I went into a deep rabbit hole a few weeks ago because, like, for some reason those came up,
right?
And we were looking at who was in it. And it was very star-studded casts, both of them. I was like,
and the soundtracks too, like Whitney Houston.
So good,
yeah, real good.
Josh was like, I mean, I guess DreamWorks knew that the Bible market was big, and I was like, but they didn't keep it up. So I wonder what their reasonings were for that. But then Shrek came like very soon after, same with Shark Tale and stuff. So I'm like, who knows? Oh my God, guys, I could think about hot cartoons and weird to be hot cartoons forever.
Well, hopefully you guys got a good laugh. Should we move on to Mommy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm well. Holly's well.
You're okay.
I guess that was our update for the week.
Oh God. That's enough of us. I think that's pretty good.
Well, really quick, Holly, before we move on.
Yes.
Well, how's your heart?
Well, now I feel great. There's so much serotonin in my brain. I'm doing very well. Yeah. How about you? How are you?
Great. I'm in a weird place with my plants again. I'm feeling kind of bummed.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm made for mounted plants, Holly. All my new growth died off of the Chelsea after I mounted it.
Well, is it still in a lot of humidity? Because when that can happen if it's like so used to humidity and then it goes
in like that. It's not in the prop box anymore. The prop box was never covered, but it had like little borders. I have it in the bathroom, which the prop box was in the bathroom, but
Yeah.
I try to spray it at least every other day, but I think you're right. I think it's a humidity issue.
And it
But like the
needs to be
leaves that are
watered so
existing are
much.
firm.
That's good.
Should
Yeah,
I
it's
just
okay.
like but that's the thing, like with a Hoya, I know like you taught me like when it starts to get wrinkly, water it. But
Mhm.
when it's mounted, is it just water it all the time?
Kind of. Like if
Okay.
well, I
Because I might
still
take it out because
do.
it's like I don't want it to die.
I don't think it'll die. It's just more like when the sphagnum moss gets crunchy, like you can let it soak for a while. You know what I mean?
Right, because I've just been running it underwater. I haven't been soaking it.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't really soak mine. I just run them underwater for like a long time.
Okay.
So just try that, like, and just give it a little time. Like,
Yeah,
it
because I think it looks really pretty. I don't wanna like,
does.
get rid of it, you know?
And spray the orchid spray on it. That should
Oh,
help.
that's right. I forget I have that.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that because I
Oh
was so
my God.
sad. I had a really nice leaf coming in and it just fell off and it wasn't developed yet fully.
But you know
And
what?
then
Hoyas do that though. You know what I
it's like a
mean?
thing.
It's totally a
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
I
So
think maybe it's overwhelming because all my Hoyas besides that one are in the greenhouse, so I only
right.
see good things happening.
I know it's like you can't judge the plants that are just out in the elements versus like the greenhouse ones because they're like
Right.
babied and in perfect condition.
Different
You know.
space, right. You're right, I think I'll keep it in there for a little longer, and I do have space in the greenhouse, like, I think I could squeeze it in if I needed to, so I might try to throw it in there, but it would be nice to hang it, you know?
Yeah, you know what you could
So
do? You can get one of those like suctiony hooks and hang it off like the wall of the greenhouse, or you know what I'm
that's what I
saying?
was
Side.
thinking.
That could be cute.
I think that could be cute too. I just think I really love the idea of having it on a wall,
Totally.
but
I
we'll
would
see.
love
I think my
that.
house is just really dry is what it is.
I mean, California is dry now, like, but so is my house though too, like in Florida. So whatever.
Right.
Don't feel bad.
What are you gonna do? But yes, overall things are good. There's little things where I'm like, why are you doing that? But I'm just trying to look past it and it's gonna be okay. Like I know there's ups and downs. Like the lipstick plant you gave me is freaking out right now. I
Good or
just
bad.
soaked it bad.
Oh no.
It looks faded and everything is wrinkly and I keep up with the watering and I don't think I've
Yeah.
overwatered. So I
Yeah.
just soaked it yesterday. So
That's
I'm
good.
just hoping it lives.
It will. It will.
Yeah, so I'm like, "We'll see," but,
Been
I'll
through
keep you
worse.
guys updated. My elbow leaf opened.
Yes.
Yes, that was exciting. It's not variegated really, but, I'm hoping
Really?
there's, like, a speck that maybe is white. It's pretty
Mm,
much all green, but which was really weird because the sheath it was in was very variegated, but
yes.
then,
I've
like
had that happen.
yeah, but it's still, like, a bright green, so I haven't been able to observe that new stem to see how variegated that is, but my chonk was pretty variegated, and, like, if you look at, like, the butt, like, the growth point that it came out of, that was all white. So I'm
Mm,
just curious what happens, but it shows a little, like, pregnant baby already, so I'm
right.
hoping she just keeps going on the up and up. I have another aerial root, so the plant itself is doing really well, so I'm excited to see what happens.
It'll be good. Just got and
Yeah.
if you have to keep chopping it back, like, to where the point of lots of variegation, then that works too.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Like, I'm just happy it's alive, so I'm just like,
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, but I'm glad you're well.
Yes, yes, yes.
Can you intro our plant mommy, please?
Absolutely. So
Okay,
today
awesome.
our plant mommy is none other than Nicole from My Clean Leaves. Hey, hey.
Ah, hey Nicole.
She is amazing. She is a um uh co-host of the Potted Together podcast, whom
Along with Becca, who we had on last week.
yeah, along with Becca and Adam.
Yeah,
Um sorry, all that laughing has me
I
all
know I am not well.
Um, she's a wife, mama, plant collector. She has a YouTube titled My Clean Leaves. She also has so she's a photographer, so she has a photography Instagram account and she has a cooking Instagram
I
account.
didn't know about.
I know, it's so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
She's Chicago based, so I love watching her content because I've always lived in hot climates and I never
Mhm.
really experienced like real winter. So it's
Right.
honestly so intriguing to see what people have to do in order to like winterize their houseplants.
Totally.
So she's really good for that. Also, she is a cactus queen. She has a really great cactus collection, as
Wow.
well as other tropicals and things like that. But
Yeah.
we love her.
That's crazy. So if you guys want to follow her and keep up with her journey with her family, her kids, her plants, all the things, again, as Holly said, the YouTube is at My Clean Leaves. Her Instagram is at My Clean Leaves. And then her photography, which I think is really fun, is at the Still Life Photos, spelled as it should be, naturally. And then cooking is at Nicole's Clean Kitchen. And then, as you guys probably know very well by now, at Potted Together for the podcast.
Yay.
And I think they're doing new content right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Because
that's
they have a
exciting.
YouTube channel too as a podcast. So,
Oh, that's right. I didn't even I
yeah.
totally
I
forgot
forgot
about
about
that. That's so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Oh, so awesome.
Thank you for being our plant mommy.
Yes, thank you for supporting. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
So, Holly, I'm excited for this episode today.
Me too. What
I
are
know
we
we've been in it for a half hour, guys. We're just starting.
Hey, you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, today, guys, it is all about the string of things.
Woo woo, string of things. You guys know what we mean by this. Your string of pearls, your string of hearts, which, yeah, we did write that down. I'm like, wait, did I write
I
that
hope to God we did. That's one of the biggest ones. Anything that's like looks like it should be a necklace, pretty much.
Exactly. And some of them have the cutest names. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Can we go through some of them?
Yes. And dude, so I did my best to find all the botanical names of these, and they're not easy. So
no, they're not. I sent you some too, and I was like, never heard of this. Never heard of that one.
So our first one is the Ceropigia woodii, which of course is the string of hearts. And under that you have the variegated, which I think is my favorite. I just love the pink little heart-shaped leaves.
It's so funny because I personally am not into, it's gonna sound so snobby, but like the regular string of hearts never resonated with me. I don't know if it's just because they're so like dark. I don't know what it is. Like, no, because I usually really like dark foliage, but it was just kind of like whatever.
I totally agree. It has some like silveryness to it.
Yeah.
Not quite like the silver glory, plus the shape is different on that. But when I was like a new plant parent, I only liked the green string of hearts with terracotta. And I did think that
does look beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, it's very forest greeny, I feel.
Yeah,
You know?
It is. But
the variegated one.
Yeah. When you have
it's just a pink.
It's pink. And when you have so many plants too, I think you really have to get picky. Like, would you rather have variegated or all green?
Right. Totally.
Variegated.
And it's nice because the variegated one like they both non and variegated grow so quickly.
They do. I will say the green one like definitely grows faster, but the variegated one grows at a good rate too. So it's a good choice.
How is yours doing? Because I feel like we're doing different things with our variegated string of hearts. Like mine immediately went in the greenhouse and it started trailing really quickly. But what you did, you have it in like a prop box trying to make it fill itself out, right? How's that?
So I'm looking at mine right now, and mine used to grow like yours, but it had become so bald at the top, which is normal. And sometimes you just have to like wrap it around. But instead of doing that, I was like, I'm going to put it on some sphagnum moss, and then I'm going to try and get a fuller plant. But I kind of forgot about it, and it's like dried out. So I only have like a few pieces. So I might be in the market for like an actual variegated string of hearts.
If anyone has something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna throw it away or anything, but it's pretty sad.
But you've had those for a while. Like I'm sure it can bounce back, you know?
Yeah, I've had it since I've lived in downtown, and I used to give people cuttings, but it just kind of took a turn for the worse.
Oh, it happens.
It's okay.
So is the variegated still like they're all considered Ceropigia woodii?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
And same with the silver glory string of glory.
Glory.
Same with that one. It's just I find the shape is a little different.
It's more
silver
like
glory.
wide. It's not like it's more like a hot dog. That's really bad. That is not true. Hold on, let me grab it.
Yeah, the shape is not really heart-like at all. It's kind of like a butt. I don't know for sure, but like, yeah, it's different.
Okay.
She's grabbing it from her cabinet. So do you agree? It's kind of like a butt.
Yes, I was actually going to say that, and then I felt crazy, but I brought both. So for anyone who's watching, you can see the difference. So here is Silver Glory. Like, yeah, you can say it's heart-shaped, but I think it's more butt-like as well because it doesn't have that dip, a severe dip that makes it a heart shape. So here we go. Oh, that's really,
it's really
gotta get the lighting. So it's more,
and it seems that you can notice the like lilac on the back of the leaves a little bit more.
Oh, totally. It's very purple on the back, which I love.
So pretty.
Also, shout out to this Front Range clay pot.
Yes, I love them.
Molly and I have matching octopus pots.
Yes.
And that has my variegated string of hearts. And these, I think you can definitely argue, are more like a traditional heart shape.
Yours looks so pretty.
Thank you. I've had to wrap it around the little tentacles because it's getting too long, but I don't want to cut yet.
Just wrap around. That's what I should have done, which we'll get into propagation methods, but one of which is the bobby pin method, where you just like, I like to stretch out a bobby pin. You take the node, you wrap it around and just like anchor it down. Totally works. Like legit, it works.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? No, never mind. I was going to say, I wonder if you could get a paper clip and break off the middle part and use it as like mini bobby pins. But I think it's too wide. It could work.
I mean, having it a little bit wide helps because you don't want to like strangle the like stem.
Because that's I really like the bobby pin trick, but I feel like I always have to be careful that I'm not pinching anything.
Stretch it out so much. Yes. All right.
So let's get back to the list. Sorry. Go ahead.
So next is, of course, I can't pronounce anything to save my life. So Angelique, you might have to save me.
This is a string of pearls?
Yeah, Senecio something.
Senecio Radicans?
Oh, perfect.
Maybe.
Yes. So that is a string of pearls.
Confidence.
Yes. Now, with string of pearls, they differ a lot from the care needs of the other string of things, as well as a few others that we'll talk about. But I find that they really are the most sensitive and they need shade if you're going to grow them outside. Unlike, we're going to get into it, but string of fish hooks, like that can pretty much take full sun. But yeah, not string of pearls.
Interesting, because I've had people tell me like, yes, keep it in direct sun. But I think it needs... because I just bought a new one recently to replace my old one.
Oh,
and the guy had it outdoors in south-facing light, but on a shelf that I imagine probably got shade part of the day.
Right.
I think it can handle some heavy light, but not for too long. Like, I think it needs to really get its vitamin D. And then I don't know if that's how plants work. I know we get vitamin D, but like, I think it really needs that big moment of sun, but then it needs shade. Like, I think
especially indoors, it definitely needs sun indoors. But I think you're right.
That's a good point.
Like long-term sun exposure
can burn. You remember?
Yes, and can almost cause like a bleaching effect too. I've had that even happen with string of bananas on a really hot California summer day.
I forget bananas are toast. They burnt this summer. It's really interesting. It's like you want them to be fat and juicy, but I think they're succulents. They are considered succulents, if I'm not mistaken. But it's like I feel like we get so afraid to overwater succulents, but I'm starting to learn that I think my string of things need more water than my other succulents.
So true. Like, especially if you're going to grow succulents outdoors in the summer or in California, if you live in a mild climate. Yeah. Like, they love rain. Like, I used to be so nervous. Like, I used to bring my succulents indoors.
Me too. You and I would both fill up our tubs with succulents.
And like, people would be like, okay, they're like, that's crazy. Like, they love rain. Like, it's fine. It's just rainwater. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, that's so right.
Unless it's a lithop, don't listen to anyone. Bring it in.
It's true. Lithops are their own breed.
I don't know why I don't give up. They hate me, and I'm like, this is gonna work this time. I think I've gone through 8 or 9.
It's almost like, how some people treat orchids. Oh, when the blooms die, you throw them away, and they just consider it like a little bit longer than having like a bouquet of flowers. That's kind of how we are with them. Only we don't intentionally throw them out.
My mom, that's her favorite flower. My mom has like orchids. She keeps them alive year round. She's had some
That's
for years, and they're all
amazing.
supermarket ones.
That's cool.
And
With the Phalaenopsis.
yeah, don't know how she does it, and no one understands how she does it. Like I was like, how do these live? I had to give her one because I was killing it, and I was like,
Does she
I
bring
don't
it back
know.
to life?
No, she
Oh,
tried. Well,
the
it doesn't.
damage was done.
Well, I went to Arizona a few weeks ago, and my mom's in Brazil right now. So
Oh,
I
nice.
think it was bad timing because I gave it to her, and then like a week later she went to Brazil. So she wasn't able to tend to it. But I saw that didn't even know my mom had moss, but it was in moss. And I think it totally rotted. Like
Oh
I just think
man.
it was too wet. And my
Yeah.
dad trying to keep her plants alive, God knows what he did. So I think like it was just a lot of that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it didn't make it, but all her other orchids were getting by. Like I think they'll still be alive by the time she's back. But
That's awesome, dude.
that's crazy.
Oh, well, our next string of things is Peperomia Prostrata, aka string of turtles.
Been very popular these last few years.
And I don't know where it came from. I remember like I saw a string of turtles on Pinterest, and I'm like, oh, what is this? And this was like
Magic.
a little while ago, but at the time, like no one was talking about it. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, it became so popular, and now I think they're finally starting to become like you can buy them if you go to the
Yes.
store.
I've recently seen them more in LA, and it used to be impossible to find them in LA even a year ago.
It's so true.
Mhm.
Now the thing is, because I bought like a 6-inch pot and it was full and just like exploding with little turtles. But like these guys need
They're
humidity.
difficult. They're not that nice. Like they're not
No.
polite.
And it's funny that they're thrown in with this string of things category, but they are the furthest thing, even from string of pearls. Like I think they need humidity. Obviously, they're a peperomia, so they are not a succulent.
But they're succulent like, and I think that really confuses people, myself included. I forget about it all the time. I'm like, it's always barely holding on.
Right? Mine keeps shrinking. Like it's so
Right.
sad.
And it's like, what's happening? Where do you have yours?
I mean, are just out in the elements in front of like a Western window. It's actually
Okay.
sitting on my media console. So,
Oh, nice. Okay.
I could be doing better. But it's like I don't want everything to live in my grow tent. Like I want to
Same.
see my collection. Like
100%.
so, it's a battle between like okay, giving you your best life, but then like I never see you. So,
Right. How often do you water it? Because I think with string of turtles, someone told me, because for me, I've only had small pieces of string of turtles that I've put into one pot. So I'm
yes,
trying to do what you were doing with the variegated string of hearts. I'm trying to fill out a
yeah,
pot of my turtles as opposed to letting it trail. And
got
someone
it.
told me they were like, just always keep it moist and in bright light.
I can totally see that. Like
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think like what you were saying about some of your string of hearts or string of pearls, like I just forget about them. I'm like, "Oh, they're
Yeah.
fine." Yeah, but I mean, it's potted in terracotta and a well-draining soil mix. So like what do I expect, you know?
That will literally, I mean, you remember the string of pearls I had hanging above my sink. It was very long.
Yes.
So I told you guys, I mentioned a few minutes ago that I'd burnt my string of pearls. It was when I moved to this house, which was a year ago, and I left it because that was one thing with string of pearls. I had it in a north facing patio and it
Right.
blew up. I think that
I
light was
loved
soft
it.
enough, but it was direct. But then at my new place, it was south facing, and I didn't think about it when I moved in because we were just getting stuff into the house that the whole top went bald. So I rerooted the whole thing last December, and then I potted up in soil again and put it in a south facing window. It was outdoors before, which is where it did well for
Yeah.
me. But I was like, I want it inside. So I put it against the south facing window. And then I think I just forgot about it. And then it just started dying again. So now I'm
Mhm.
rerooting it. I bought another one. So we'll see.
Nice. How
But
big is the one that you bought?
it's pretty. I got it for $5 and it was trailing.
Really? Is it
Yeah.
like what size is it?
Well,
Like
what?
what size is the pot?
4.
Oh, nice.
Let
So
me show
cool.
you. It's really cute. I like it. Hold on. Of course, now I don't have a picture. I'll show you when we're off air, and I'll try to
Okay.
post a picture, you guys, so that you guys can see. But his is very light green, and I think it's because it gets so much light.
That's
Mine's a
cool.
darker green, so it'd be nice to see them come together with their different shades. It's really cool.
Yes. Ah, love it.
Yeah.
Well, Speaking of string of pearls, I think it's important. I'm kind of like
I know
skipping.
we're bouncing around, but we'll get to the. We're gonna talk about
Yes.
we're gonna talk about each main one, just so you
Yeah.
guys know and
I
what
just
they
think
need.
it's a good one to talk about next is the string of tears, which is the Senecio citriformis, because it looks
Oh, yes.
so similar, and even some, but like obviously, like if you know, you know, and you're like that is not a string of pearls. But a lot of times in nurseries, like they get mislabeled as either or. You know what I mean? So
Yes, it's so true.
it basically it's like a string of pearls, but just has like the tiniest little points at
It's
like the end.
long. It's not round. Like
Right. I mean, well, string of tears, it is rounded though. That's what's weird because then you have
It's like
banana.
a beauty blender.
Yes, it's like a beauty
That
blender.
kind of makes sense. Like it's oval with a point.
Exactly.
There we go. We figured it out.
String of beauty blenders is what we call it. Just be like, hello, Society of Plants. We have a new name for this. And they're like, well, it's just a common name, so you can call it whatever. No, but I think there needs to be a record.
Definitely.
This is called String of Beauty Blender.
Sponsored by Beauty Blender.
It's trademarked.
Yeah. But it's funny because I've had people try to sell me string of tears saying that they're pearls. And I was
I
like,
know. No, no.
Pearls are round. Like there's no doubt about it. But it's important to know. I noticed that some of mine were stretching when I put them indoors. They can start to a little. I think they can start to look like string of tears if you're not careful. So I can understand the confusion.
For sure. So then you have Senecio Radicans, which is a string of bananas. Fish hook Senecio. I looked so hard for the botanical name, but it wasn't really direct. But these ones are very long, and they almost have more of like a blue tint than the string of bananas. And I think they're really pretty. It's a different look for sure. I've seen them in like succulent arrangements, and I think they're pretty cute. So.
And they're people always often mistaken them for bananas, but the big way you can tell is I think you let me know what you think. I think a string of what is it called? A fish hook. I want to call it a string of this, but I feel like fish hooks are at least 1.5 inches long. And they're thinner and they curve a little bit, but bananas are probably less than 1 inch usually, and they're very fat and juicy.
Yes.
And I think and they're usually brighter green as opposed to that blue you were talking about, like that blue green.
Yes. Now, dude, I don't know why I didn't have this written down, but I really want to just mention it real quick. Please. You remember a string of watermelons, right?
Forgot about them. Yes.
I was gifted a cutting of these and they were big. Like it wasn't, they weren't small like string of pearls. Like they're actually the size of like, I'm trying to think of a nut.
They're like a garbanzo bean.
Garbanzo bean, yeah. So definitely big,
girthy, but a little longer than the garbanzo bean.
Yes, it's like definitely
beauty blender vibes.
Yes, again with the beauty blender vibes.
So cute. I totally forgot about string of watermelon.
Yeah, and they can get a little sun stressed and beautiful.
Pink at the points. Can you remind me what family are they considered a succulent? Or are they peperomia?
What's in the Senecio? Senecio Radicans.
Okay.
I don't know if you can actually read that.
Look at that. Okay. It's a little blur. It's a little
right. Yeah.
But
Senecio Radicans. Okay.
I'm glad you brought it up because I feel like that's one nobody talks about.
Yes, and I've seen it a couple times in LA, but I've never seen it here in Florida. But I think
I barely have seen it in LA.
Yeah. So
I wonder if the care is difficult on that one.
It really isn't. I mean, I had a cutting that I sort of neglected, and it held on for a while. But I imagine it's just got to be like it's a Senecio, so
kind of like a string of pearls, maybe.
Yeah, right. Like obviously it can take a little sun because it turns that beautiful sun stress.
Yeah.
But you probably wouldn't want to like fry it.
The fun thing about that one, as well as the string of turtles, is that I don't know if you would call it variegation, but the lining on their leaves are very defined. Like I showed Josh's mom a string of turtles and she was like, oh my God, it really does look like a turtle shell.
So cute. Yeah. And same like you were saying, like the string of watermelons, for those who aren't watching and haven't seen it, it looks like the stripe look like a watermelon, it's just so cute.
Like no doubt about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing. So with sun stress, going into our next one,
Yes.
ruby necklace or string of rubies. Tell me
Yes.
if you can pronounce this, Angelique.
Let's see, the Athana capensis or
That sounds
capensis?
right. Yeah.
Love
They're
them.
so cute. Now these can take these can take a lot more sun. So they actually look gorgeous in full sun because they literally turn like bright purple, like the whole thing, the leaf, the stem, and it's just
Are
oh,
these the ones
pretty.
with the red backing that kind of almost look like hearts, but they're not?
I don't think so. I'm gonna pull
Maybe?
up a picture for
It's a
you.
there's a peperomia that I asked you about once when I was at Lowe's, and it wasn't it obviously wasn't string of hearts, but it kind of
Oh,
was round and had red backing.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that one is called the Peperomia something, but no,
Let me go
this
find it.
one, let me see. I want to find a good picture. So what it starts off as, if you don't have it in if you have it in a lot of bright light, basically the stems are purple and the leaves are green.
Oh
I
my
wish it
god,
wasn't
so
so
pretty.
so bright. Sorry, Angelique.
No, you're good. Let me
Then
see. Okay.
then once it gets in lot of sun, it gets purple like that. Isn't that pretty?
Oh god, that's so beautiful.
I like
Wow.
it. We had these. So one of our boozy botanical nights. Oh, and it has yellow flowers. One of our boozy botanical nights, we had these as one of the
Yes,
trailer.
you
Yeah,
did. I that's right, with a bit
that's
of the
where I got
purpleness,
mine.
right?
Boozy
Yeah.
over. And here's another one in a succulent arrangement. You could see like spilling out.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
There this speaking of arrangements, what Holly's showing us, these are really great options if you're ever going to create a succulent arrangement to gift someone, because obviously you're gonna have your greens and stuff, but to be able to add dimension with different colors is
Yes,
so beautiful.
it's so true.
And
Ah,
Holly, just so you know, it is the Ruby Cascade succulent.
oh,
Well, no,
thank
it's not.
you.
It's so weird. The person on Etsy wrote Peperomia Ruby Cascade succulent. I'm like, it can't be both.
Not, yeah, no, it's,
So I believe it is considered a peperomia. If you guys are ever interested in this, I've seen them at big box stores, and it has a very deep green front, and like they're not hearts, but they remind me a little bit of hearts, but the back is a
oh,
deep
yes.
ruby color. They're
Uh,
beautiful.
yes. What was that called? It was, say it again, the
Ruby
pepperoni
Cascade.
ruby cascade. Okay,
I
yes.
don't have its scientific name, but
Different from string of rubies. The
yeah.
Athana, what we're talking about. It gets so
Exactly,
confusing.
they're similar, but it's not. Right, right, right. Do you
Uh,
have the Athana one?
yes, it's left over from Boozy.
Oh, that's right. Because we were very surprised that it wasn't, like,
Yeah,
totally
no
like,
one picked it up.
we thought people were gonna select it because for Boozy, we always have extra succulents just to be on the safe side, and I was like, "Oh, Holly got to capitalize, it worked out."
Exactly. So yeah, I think we have, as far as like what we were wanting to talk about of
Those
the
are the main ones.
species, I think we went through all of them.
Yes. What is, so let's talk about care tips and what differs between each one, because they're all string of things, but we're
Yes.
talking about succulents and peperomia primarily, as well as there's a third, isn't there? Or is it pretty much those two?
I think it was
And I
mostly
guess
those
the
two.
the ruby necklace, is it considered a succulent technically?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, of course, you have the string of turtles, which needs a lot of humidity versus like Senecio's. And then you have the string of pearls, which is a succulent, but can't go as much in the sun as like the other ones, or at least
Needs
for
to
not
be
as long.
severely acclimated, I think, for it to act like,
Yes.
because I have seen some crazy ones that are huge and it looks like they get a lot of sun, but it probably went through hell to get there. So I don't think it's
Mhm.
impossible, but it's definitely sensitive, and I think it is a journey if you want it to be outside all the time, like, in
Yeah.
bright light at least.
Totally.
Yeah.
And a lot of times too, when you're buying these plants, like they're grown in greenhouses, so it's like the perfect
Right.
conditions. It's not too bright, but it's
Right.
not getting like overly dark. So that's yeah, you can't
The
help
big
that.
thing. Right, right. It's it's something where I think it's important to note that, even because I feel like with me, in my brain, I buy a succulent and I'm like, "It's a succulent. It can withstand anything.
Yes.
But it's so you need to remember that it's like if it I think the rule of thumb is that if the leaf is delicate, assume that it needs a little bit more attention. Like I have the Kalanchoe you sold me a few years ago that's kind of
Yes.
minty colored. It's weird right now. It's going through some things, but those leaves are thinner, and I think it's important
Yeah.
for me to remember that it's like I should pay attention to it a bit more because it'll survive. It's not that it's gonna die, but
Right.
it needs a bit of TLC in terms of like, making sure it gets the shade it needs and it gets whatever. Whereas I have some
Yeah.
really juicy, thick succulents that look like they can go through a tsunami and be fine.
It's so
Like,
true. And also like comparing the leaves to roots. So with the string of pearls, I
mhm.
feel like the roots are so delicate. Whereas
Yes,
of course they're holding on to water in their leaves, but you have to think like you can't go too long without watering it because
right.
the leaves are sorry, the roots are so brittle.
Definitely. Yes.
So
I
yeah.
never thought about comparing it to root size. That's a really good point.
Yeah,
Root
I think it
thickness.
helps. Kind of
Yeah.
like the ZZ plant because you have like these leafy leaves, but then you look under the hood, so to speak, the huge tubers that just hold on to water, and that's why you're able to go so long without watering. So it's very interesting.
Convinced mine is dead all the time. And I'm like,
It's hard
guess
to
not
know.
yet.
I know it's scary. I'm like, ooh, like,
Yeah.
I want to water you, but I don't want to kill you.
Well, I did have a question for you. What did you
Yeah.
think? So I know that we've talked about string of pearls quite a bit today, and obviously we've had many honorable mentions, but I feel, and we have talked about how string of turtles seems to be the one that is a little different, a little
Yes.
finicky.
Yes.
Um, have you had experience doing different things to make your string of turtles successful? And I know you've talked about like having that experience of it kind of just doing its thing on the TV stand and stuff. But have you found that a certain watering pattern or fertilizing pattern or anything has helped, or have you ever fertilized it?
I think I have fertilized. I would say consistent watering
Yeah.
definitely helps, but I mean, if you really want your um string of turtles to get super bushy, I think you just need to keep it humid. So if you live in a
Right.
spot that has a lot of humidity, you can consider keeping it outdoors. I went to a nursery in Naples. It's called
Mhm.
Williams Magical Garden, I think. Shout out.
Ooh, yes,
Um,
the name sounds familiar.
they they had so many Peperomia prostratas, aka string of turtles, that were
Yeah.
huge, like almost like quarter size leaves, and they were outside in the humid conditions. So
Oh, wow, that's so cool.
yes, so as far as like my string of turtles, it's more of a matter of like what am I willing to do to make it be really pretty? Like not
Right.
a whole lot, only and
Like,
that
this is what
sounds
we get.
no, and that sounds cold, but I don't mean it that way. I still love the
Of
plant
course.
and I'm not going to neglect it by any means.
Totally,
But I
yeah.
just I can't baby it because I have so many other plants that I've invested in that need my attention more. So
Definitely.
the best I can do is maybe what I'll do is repot it down the road and give it a little bit more moisture retaining, and then
Oh,
just keep
that's
it
a good
on
idea.
watering. Yeah.
Right. Then let's talk propagation because I
Yeah.
think that's really fun with string of things. And I wanted to share with you guys my string of pearls propagating journey. I
Yes.
always went the water route, and I am rerouting one in water, but I might switch it to perlite because I'd be curious to see because we know how thin string of pearls roots are. They get very
Yes.
long very fast, but they are thin. So I'm wondering like would it behoove me to put it in perlite and just see like if it develops a little bit more like muscle as it's
Yeah.
creating roots. But I don't you let me know if it's like this with all string of things, but I know for a fact with string of pearls, the best way to do it is if you guys cut anywhere between pearls,
Yep.
um, pull off a couple pearls as much as it pains you. Try to find ones that are ugly. Pull those off and make sure that those points where the pearl was connected to the stem, that goes underwater, and that's where your roots are gonna come from. So
Yep.
it's like that's the node, I
Node.
guess.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah,
Totally.
and
Yeah,
they
and
root quickly.
you had pretty good luck. I mean, your roots were, like, pretty long. I know you were saying they
They
weren't
are.
as
I did them
thick,
in tubes, but there
but
was a lot of them.
there were, yeah.
So many.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never propagated, well, funny enough, I have propagated succulents in water, but my favorite method is just to propagate like on in soil, like
Just
laying
on
them on
top.
top. Yeah,
Yes.
that's my favorite
Like,
method
keeping
just
it
because I
moist.
yeah, plus it's very difficult to repot string of pearls or any string of things. Like
Sucks.
so difficult, especially string of
It's so
hearts. Oh,
delicate.
so delicate.
So delicate.
Whatever you can do to either just don't mess with the top layer and just stick it in there, or yeah, try to propagate by just laying little pearls or hearts on top of the pot, essentially.
So, with you rooting your variegated string of hearts, can you explain sort of your method? Like, you're just taking a full strand and laying it on top of spag or soil, right? And keeping
Yeah.
it moist?
Yes. So what I have is like a takeout container. I had a lid on it, but it was just like, I don't know what happened to the
Too
lid.
humid?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
just a little bit too humid. So what I did was I just put a layer of sphagnum moss and then just put the hearts on top and then put it in my grow tent. But sometimes in my grow tent, if it's too close to the light, they can burn. And then of course they can dry out and just shrivel up.
right.
So it's really been a lack of attention on my part, but that's really my only method. It's just like you can take the food container with the lid and you can actually poke some holes at the top, and that might solve your problem that I was having with too much humidity. But
Yes, true.
it's pretty simple. So if you want to give it a try, do it. I would be interested to see that same method, but with perlite, because I haven't seen that.
Yeah. I've never seen it either. And I just because I know you swear by perlite for so many types of plants, like
I totally do.
phyllos and stuff. So I
Yeah,
was just
it
like,
does. Yeah.
why wouldn't the pearls like that? And it's still in water now, but I'm gonna think about it and I'll let you guys know if I decide to put it in perlite. I'm just be curious to know because I do wonder now. I think I definitely forgot to water it once I transferred it to soil. Like I don't think I kept
Right.
up with it. But also I wonder if just getting it acclimated to perlite would have helped that transition,
I
you
feel
know?
like it would for sure, like
I think.
yeah, like that's why people like leca because it essentially does the
Yeah.
same thing. It makes the roots a little bit more substantial and like builds muscle, as you had said, which is so cute. Haven't
I
built
never
muscle.
thought about that, but I think build muscle
Yes.
makes sense as a
Yes.
term.
So I have seen people do perlite prop boxes, and then of course I do like the perlite bag
Ooh,
method. So I think you
right.
should totally try it for sure.
I'll do it for the pod. Let's see
Okay.
what happens. I'm really curious. It's
Yeah.
also it's funny because you're talking about like the soil on top method. I'm doing that for the string of turtles, and I wonder if peperomia are going to respond the same way that succulents do when you just lay them on top. I'm
Yeah.
hoping. I see new growth. The new growth is very wee, you know? So I
Yes.
think it's just like not letting it go bald. But it is, I will be honest with you guys. I think people underestimate the work that goes into string of turtles. I know I did. I always forget about
Yes.
it. And I'm just like, I think it would be dead if it wasn't in the greenhouse right now. Like I think the humidity bubble that the plants create is really helping it, but I'm not spraying it as much as I should. And I think it's really important to like be consistent with making sure it can't not soaked. Obviously, it's still succulent
Yeah.
like,
Well,
but
2
giving it that
things.
little boost.
Yeah. No, absolutely. 2 things that like kind of just made me think about that when you said it is like when your plants are in a greenhouse or greenhouse IKEA cabinet, Mars Hydro grow tent, like what's nice is that you don't really have to worry about them so much because the humidity keeps so well.
Yeah.
But it's true what you were saying about how it really does take a lot to keep up with string of turtles. And it reminded me, if you guys ever go to Andy's Orchids, they
Oh, yeah,
have,
in San Diego. I
yes,
think it said, yeah.
yes, they have string of turtles mounted on boards. And it's absolutely exploding. Now, they do have some that's just in pots. Like they pot a lot of their things in sphagnum moss
Right.
because it is so humid in their greenhouses. But
Yeah.
wow, I can only imagine like what it took to get those mounted. And then I'm sure after a while it just starts to grow and overtake the, piece of wood.
Bored. Yeah.
Damn. It's just like it's a piece of art.
Well, I'm struggling to even do simple Hoya on wood, and now and like that is discouraging me because I wanted to mount my staghorn fern that's dying
Mhm.
in the shower currently. So I'm like trying to adapt to that. I think there's just a big adaptation period when you mount things and stuff. So it's crazy to see that like turtles were mounted. That's insane.
I know. I just totally forgot about that until you had mentioned it. So yeah.
Crazy.
But oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead, please.
I was gonna say, don't feel bad because most of the time when we see these awesome specimens, they're in greenhouses. So we're just doing our best in our homes,
We
like
don't all have that access. We're not all rainforest flora.
I know, right?
I have to remind myself that when I'm killing an air plant, I'm like, I don't have what they have. But
I'm built different.
yeah, I think before we wrap up, Holly, let's see. We talked. Oh, let's really quick. Sorry. I guess we kind of touched on it, but with watering, like for the peperomia, like I feel like you and I have talked about this with Peperomia Hope. She seems to want a consistent schedule, and I think that's kind of across the board. Peperomias, I think they like to have their time respected.
I think so. I think they like to be maybe now. I never really say have your plants on a schedule, but I think in the case of plants that dry out, I think a schedule is helpful and it'll save you
like around like ish, like know that it's around that time.
Yeah. And also I don't know if you remember, I used to only exclusively bottom water my peperomias.
Right.
Which I think could be really great for even string of pearls too,
Totally. Yes. To not like put pressure on the top layer.
Yes. Cause you know how crazy the top layer just gets so bald.
Yes.
If water does sit there at the top, sometimes it can like rot some of the leaves up top. So
yes.
Yeah, I would give bottom watering a try if you're like kind of nervous about maybe some of your string of things plants. I find that it helps a lot, especially with peperomia. I'm lazy now and I top water my peperomia, but
I've been doing the same thing and they've been surviving. It's been fine.
It's all right.
What are you gonna do? But yeah, I think before we wrap up, just main things to take away. If it's a Senecio, like the pearls or the bananas or the fish hooks, just be mindful of the shade that they might need. Like they can take the sun, but give them a break. And then with peperomia, especially if you're going the turtles route, just be mindful of your humidity. Think about that before you pay for them because they can be expensive depending on the area you're in.
So true.
And then string of hearts in my experience, and I know you have yours in your Mars Hydro, they'll do just fine outside of a greenhouse, but they seem to really blow up inside a greenhouse too. So just be mindful. Just know that they're probably the least fussy out of everything we've talked about, ironically.
Right. Now aside from bananas and fish hooks and string of tears, because I do think, like you were saying about consistently, I think you do kind of have to water them apart a little bit more.
True. They're not. Are they? I think online it says they're succulents. What do you think?
I mean, if you consider Ceropigia succulent,
those like maybe they're cousins.
Because I think succulents is like a general term, you know what I mean? Right, so it's hard to say, like, is this a succulent? It's like, sure, you could call Hoya succulent, but it's kind of hard.
In theory, you could argue, right?
Right. Well, this has been a good episode, and hopefully you guys found some helpful tips and maybe learned a thing or two.
If you have any questions, just DM us. I know we didn't really talk about styling with a string of things, but at the edge of any shelf, they're gonna look amazing.
Basket, edge of a shelf, Holly grow in a macrame.
Beautiful. Oh,
yes.
Holly, where can the people find you?
So you guys can find me at Concrete Botanical _ on Instagram, Concrete Botanical on TikTok, and on YouTube. And then we have concretebotanical.com for my shop.
And shop Concrete Botanical.
And shop Concrete Botanical, yes.
Yay!
Thank you.
At shop. You know what I'm trying to say, guys. And you guys can catch me at Sucka for Plantas on Instagram. And you can catch the podcast at Boozy Botanical Podcast. We drop new episodes every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio and YouTube if you want to watch us visually. I was chatting with Holly. I know we've been talking about, like, we've been doing a lot of show and tells and stuff. So we will try to be posting that on our Instagram as well if you're someone that doesn't utilize the YouTube. So stay tuned for that. We're figuring it out. And if you guys ever want to send us an email with questions or what have you, we're at boozybotanicalpodcast@gmail.com. And I think that's it, right, Holly?
We covered all the things.
Yeah, I think we covered all the things. Also, thank you guys for your grace. I know we delayed Becca's episode. We just had some tech
Yeah.
stuff going on and we really wanted it to drop on a Tuesday. So we appreciate your patience. And, you know, life happens where we all work full time. So things are going to come up. But thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And leave a 5-star rate and review on Apple Podcasts if you enjoyed the show.
Yes. With
you.
that,
Cheers, guys. Thank you
cheers.
very much. Bye.